Oh my, why is it not getting people up here? I do apologize, everyone. Do apologize. In the meantime, we're gonna get someone up here. Once we get some debates up here, it will start going, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 43.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or moral?
I think that being gay is wrong, and well, it is immoral. Yes.
Is there a way you can get closer to your mic?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see.
For sure, for sure.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I hear you way better now. So why do you think it's wrong or immoral?
Okay. So I've been listening to your arguments. Number one, humans are oftentimes controlled by our passions. Passions that lead us to things like anger, things like stealing, things like sexual immorality. Would you agree with that?
What do you think leads us to these things?
Passions.
Passions? They can. Depends on the scenario, though.
Right. So there are passions that can lead us toward things that are good, and there are passions that can lead us toward things that are not good. Would you agree with that?
Sure. What passions are you referencing?
Well, for example, anger is a passion. Gluttony is a passion. Sexual immorality is a passion.
So can you be specific with what you're trying to reference, though? Yeah, given the fact that there are these passions, what are you trying to relate to?
Right. So if we give into these passions, then we cause harm unto ourselves. So
Not necessarily, right? Like if you give into anger, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are harming yourself.
Of course. Anger is not, we know, I can't cite any studies or anything like that, but it's not a good feeling when you become angry, right? It actually intensifies your blood pressure, and I'm sure there's all sorts of biological things.
Do you think that there are any good feelings that are passions?
No, the way in which I'm using the word passion, the context for it is something that is, as you're questioning, wrong. It's missing the mark. So coming to the idea of sin, right? Not going into Christianity and going into all the religion and theological debates, but let's just take the notion of sin, which is understood in Jewish law as well as Christian law. It's understood as what? The definition of that is missing the mark. So
so you're religious, right?
Well, I'm not coming at it from a religious standpoint, but
then why are we even talking about theology? Okay, that's not even going to be relevant, right?
Well, I will come to it from religion then, but I'm not going to go into an argument to prove to you God, to prove my religious views to you. That's not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah, so that would actually what you have to do in order to say that or grant the statement that being gay is wrong. It would rely on the claim that your particular religion is true. What's up, Dean? Shannon, thank you for the cash app. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, that would be the basis of your claim if you believe in religion.
No, the basis of my claim is it's not just being gay or practicing homosexuality that's wrong. There's other kinds of sexual immorality. There are other types of sins that are causing harm to your soul, and being gay is
so
not.
All of these rely on you don't have a. How do you demonstrate you have a soul? That's a religious take. Okay, so you're relying on your religious claims being true. Okay, so you have to justify your religious claims being true.
Okay, so let's understand the word what soul means, and what it means is the nous, which is the connection between the mind and the soul. So when I'm saying soul,
a soul
means the mind
and the soul.
Yeah, soul's a connection in between the mind and the soul. Just revisit that statement. Really put some critical thought into what you just said.
No, that wasn't clear. I apologize. So let's just use the word mind in place of soul. Okay? Can we agree on that?
So the soul's a connection between the mind and the mind?
No, let's just say that the soul and the mind are one.
Okay. So what about it then?
So when we enter into sin, whatever the sin may be, this is coming away from truth and away from light and into darkness. It's the darkening of the mind. So these passions that are sins, that we are free will, we enter into freely, regardless of whether we were born that way or not born that way. It is ultimately our choice whether we act on such passions. And when
how do you know that the passion of engaging in gay intercourse darkens the mind?
How do you know that?
Yeah, I mean, it's effectively the claim that you're making, or somehow it does something bad. I'm trying to follow.
Okay, well, can you understand that there are certain things that we do as human beings that can put us into a not good place, into some
Yeah,
kind
and how do you know that gay intercourse is one of them?
Well,
Crickets.
No. Let me have a chance to respond, because you're when it comes to any kind of sexual immorality, which is,
How do you know that gay intercourse is a sexual immorality?
well, I think it's pretty clear, not only from
non-answer.
I'm going to answer from not only the teachings that are there in the scriptures.
The Christian scriptures?
Let me finish my talk, and then you can ask questions, okay? Biologically, is a penis meant for a vagina, or is a penis meant for an asshole?
Meant presupposes some sort of mental state where you have a preference of one or the other, which we're not going to indicate, like in a moral sense, that there would be a preference for you to
No, just
like against
by
either
nature.
or.
Just by nature. What is the design there? If there's a design, or if there's not a design.
A design, things
intended
just happen to be the particular way. There aren't like intended purposes between different functions.
Is the intended use of a penis for a vagina or for an asshole?
It depends on it depends on the person. If you're gay,
Right.
it's going to be the asshole. If you're straight, well, then it's going to be the vagina.
Right. And
we're just defining these things in a descriptive sense. So we're more so making empirical judgments of the purpose of them based upon how we use them. And because we observe individuals using them for both vaginal and anal intercourse, I think that they would both be, reasonable, functions to denote under that sense. But would you say that oral intercourse between a man and a woman's okay?
Well, I would say that the ultimate ideal, and I don't mean to skirt your question, but the ultimate ideal is to become like angels, which do not act upon anything of the senses. They don't eat, they don't have sex, they don't use any of these lower faculties, right? Because they're celestial beings. So our effort as humans.
You didn't really answer my question.
Okay, you want to ask it again?
Yeah, is oral intercourse between a married man and a woman okay?
What do you mean by is it okay?
Is it morally wrong?
Is it morally wrong? I think that is not the intended purpose of our sexuality.
I asked that though. I asked you if it was morally wrong, right?
Well, I'm not answering that question because I'm not the moral authority on that particular topic.
So you're not the moral authority on if oral intercourse is morally wrong, but you're the moral authority on if gay intercourse is morally wrong.
Well, let me ask you, why are you asking about that specific topic?
I'll tell you if you answer.
You'll tell me the answer?
No, I'll tell you if you answer. Come on. Let's just remain productive here. So is oral intercourse between a man and a woman morally wrong?
I would say that it's not the correct use. It is not the correct use of our...
Okay, this still doesn't answer my question.
Why doesn't it answer your question?
I'm asking you if it's morally wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't like BJ's, bro.
No, it doesn't matter what. See, now you're conflating things because it's not a matter of what I like. It's not a matter of what you like.
How do you know what the correct use is?
Well, because God showed us. If we want to, I'm not saying there's not a place for sex inside of marriage.
So God showed us what the correct use is. So yeah. So where in the Bible does God show us that gay intercourse is incorrect? What verse in the Bible does God say being gay is immoral?
It comes back to
engaging in gay intercourse is immoral.
It comes back to the passions, and this is what the church teaches. And not
so which
every
verse in the Bible tells us that it's immoral to engage in
I'm
gay
not going to
intercourse?
get into verse with you. That's not a good way to.
Because you just made the claim that the scripture tells us what the correct usage of
the church
means or
teaches
purpose or
us.
functions do.
The church teaches us.
Right,
Okay.
but what does the church teach? The church teaches the Bible. So which verse in the Bible tells us that being gay is wrong or tells us that gay intercourse is immoral? It's a very simple question.
Well, I think Paul talks about it. Christ talks about it.
Where?
I don't have my Bible in front of me, and I don't have the exact scriptures memorized, but it is talked about in the
So then
Bible.
you're just making a non-falsifiable claim. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the specific verbiage in which you are referencing, nor the verse, nor the passage, nor what the verse or the passage could say.
Oh, well, there goes Dean.
Okay, well, he's trying to push for you have to know exactly every verse in the Bible that substantiates your claim, and that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from what the church teaches, and what the church teaches is in the Bible. It's also in tradition. So if you don't look at tradition and what the fathers have taught for over 2,000 years, even before that, and how the Jews were often worshiping idols and doing wrong things, right? God condemned them for doing those types of things.
I'm just going to ask you for how you I'm going to completely change the structure from the conversation y'all were having. I'm going to relate it back to how do we know God exists in order to say that being gay is wrong by virtue of your God existing?
How do you know God exists? How do you think you know God exists?
I don't think you have any evidence. I don't think you have any reason to believe.
Okay, well, God is good, right? That's one of the teachings of the church, that God is good. God is many things, right? God is not just one thing. He's all-knowing. He's omniscient. He's everywhere present. Fill us all things, right? So if we look at the trees, just look how beautiful the nature is. That we believe as Christians that God created this. This is good for us. Watch the birds fly. Watch how one person is kind to the other person. Look at the scriptures and read how Christ healed so many. He healed the paralytic. He healed the blind person. No one could do this but God. And Christ himself claimed to be God. Don't ask me for an exact scripture. We know this is in the Bible where he claimed, I am the Father. The Father is
I am the Father.
No, I am in the Father, and the Father is
I am in the Father, and the Father's in me.
You can make that claim, but you're delusional.
Well, how do you know I'm delusional and Jesus isn't?
Correct, because Jesus was a perfect God-man.
Well, how do you know?
How do I know? How do I know that Christ? Well, because I've experienced him. I've encountered him. I felt his presence in my life through the Holy Spirit.
Nope, that was me.
I know that wasn't you because you're a sinner. And Christ.
I'm not a sinner. I'm not a sinner.
You've never sinned.
Never sinned.
You've never come to anger. You never lost your temper. You've never lied. You never cheated. You never stolen. You've never done any of that.
Nope.
Okay. Well, if you want to think that you're perfect, that is up to you to, think that you're perfect.
What is the difference in the claim between God saying that, Jesus saying that he's God, right? And me saying that I'm God? Dean, you can just send a guest request back, bruv. Auto, bring him back.
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Sorry, adding Dean made me forget. What's the difference? I remember. What's the difference between the claim that I'm God and the claim that Jesus is God? That means that you accept one and not the other.
Well, number one, you have historical documents that are relating back to the Bible. You have over 2 billion believers in the world that are claiming that Jesus was God and believe that Jesus was God. They're practicing, they're experiencing.
And you have the chat who are claiming that I'm God.
And but there is a whole lineage. You don't have a lineage that traces back to.
The lineage is in the chat.
Well, now you're just making up stuff. So, I mean,
but like you could actually, like, when it relates to other religions, you could relate like a lineage.
Of course, but none of those religions did anybody.
And you think they're false? You think they're false?
No, I don't think they're false, and I think that they're. Of course, they're missing the mark. So they do not have Christ. They do not have someone who claimed to be God, who showed that he was God, who died, who resurrected, and sits at the right hand of the Father. You know, you don't have this in any other religion.
No, but the point is that people in the chat will claim that that I have turned water into wine and I performed miracles.
Well, you might be able to do that with magic. Maybe you could do that with God. See, if you
I've performed miracles and I've proven that I'm God. I've risen from the dead. I've walked on water. I've turned water into wine. I did everything that Jesus claimed he did.
Well, then where are your followers?
They're in the chat.
I'm a follower.
They're literally in the chat right now.
Are they worshiping you and praying to you?
Yes.
And what good is that for them? Where does that lead them?
It saves them.
Yeah, a personal testament of a follower of Parker. You know, I really feel like it, fulfills my life purpose, and it gives me a meaning in life. And I just observing the miracles in which Parker has done unto the earth just truly is a very powerful statement. Parker is God.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you believe that. I think that you're probably mistaken, but who am I to judge? If you want to believe that,
couldn't I say the same thing about you? We believe that you're probably mistaken.
Well, you could, but the difference is you have 2.3 thousand people here, and simultaneously on any given Sunday, hundreds of millions of people.
Where'd you get 2.3 from?
What the hell? 2.3 come from?
3.5 thousand followers. It looks like.
No, trust me. I delivered Dean from his hickeys, so trust me, I have shown my deliverances.
I think it's good. I think it's good to have fun. I think you guys are having fun. I think you guys are young. I like what you're doing. You're challenging the status quo, and you're sort of, giving these arguments and making people argue back against you. And this is for entertainment purposes.
No, it's not just entertainment, right? Like the idea is that actually, like this. Oh, hold up! You have to swipe out of the app and swipe back in. Like the point of this critique is like actually like legitimate, right? Like how can we make a relevant distinction between these 2 points?
The point of this critique is like
you have to swipe out of the app and swipe back in.
Swipe out of the app and then swipe back in, Christopher. You have an echo.
Swipe out of the app.
Leave the TikTok
swipe back
app.
In. Leave the TikTok
Also,
app. It should make you go paused.
I got a 2-week suspension.
Swipe the TikTok app.
There you go. I got a 2-week suspension for bullying and harassment.
Good. 2 week? I've never got a 2 week before. What the hell?
Me neither. The appeal got automatically approved on here. I think I got.
Matt texted me Hickey Dean and pull out Parker. We're gonna make some merch about that.
Oh, that's some W merch. Also, everybody, if you're enjoying the stream so far, make sure we're tippity tap tapping away on that phone screen.
I'm actually not joking. We can actually make that a thing as a joke. Oh, he just left. We can make that a thing as a joke. Not joking, chat. Like we actually have someone that we can do. Like we can contact for merch right now.
Should we do that, chat? WRL. Also, when are you hopping off? I heard you talking about earlier. You're gonna
once my girlfriend comes. Okay. So she is. I don't think she's left yet. She's at least like 30-40 minutes away. We're good.
Okay, sweet. And also, I'm gonna be live till pretty late tonight, so I'll probably be going live after this on here.
You want to talk to this guy?
Sure.
Come on. I want it. There we go.
Hey, wait a minute.
Very
Dean.
respectful. I'm going to do this very respectfully, too.
Okay, me too.
TikTok?
Hey,
Good luck.
Are you
Sophia, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it, Venmo.
Dean? Dean,
hello. Are you of age?
Wait a minute. Wait, let me just ask you a quick question. Are you a child of David Bowie?
No, but I take that as a compliment. We're off to
I don't know if it's a
We're off to a good
compliment,
start here. Good.
All right. Go ahead.
first of all, I definitely would take that as a compliment. You know what? He's made great movies, great music as
Yo,
well.
Camille just went
Anyways.
great. Yeah, W Camille.
David.
Oh, dude, do you think being gay is wrong or immoral?
Yes,
Why?
it is. It just is. It's not.
Okay, so yeah, wait. Ask me a question.
It's just
Wait,
not
Desmos,
natural,
ask
man.
me. Oh, ask me if I think you're wrong, and my justification is you just are, right? So obviously this isn't going to
think you're wrong,
justify
too.
my claim in this. One second, Desmos. So when you say being gay is wrong or moral because it just is, or when I say you're wrong just because you are, like you're not actually substantiating your statement at all. You're just kind of like engaging in like low frequency conversation.
Listen, without heterosexual people, the gay community dies off. Simple. You guys cannot reproduce without heterosexual people. We keep everything going. The gay community is just. I don't hate the gay community. Don't get me wrong, but it is immoral. It is immoral.
Yeah, why is it immoral? Because if you're just denoting an inability to reproduce, you're descriptively wrong in the sense. Yeah, hey, buddy, 1 second. 1 second. Can we like do this thing? 1 second. Can we do this thing where like I talk, then you talk, then I talk, then you talk? Like, you know, like conversational, productive dialogue here. So, anyways, I really don't think that your notion was correct. It's for. Yeah. So, what did you just say? I talk, then you talk, right? So, anyways. I think that your claim is descriptively incorrect in the sense that, yeah, gay people can reproduce via IVF and surrogacy.
No.
But even apart from that, I don't think that, like, you know, the inability to reproduce from a gay intercourse would constitute it as being immoral. So, I mean, if this is all that you're saying, I mean, I just would ask you, do you think if I were to marry and sleep with an infertile woman, is that wrong or immoral?
Oh God, here we go with that argument. Come on, that's what you got. That's your argument.
Yes. Respond to
That
it.
is stupid. That
Okay, why is it stupid? Why is it stupid?
That's what you come back with for the fact that a gay couple cannot reproduce. And don't get me wrong, I have
Yeah, so if I were to sleep with if I were to sleep with a man right now, that would yield just as much reproduction if I were to sleep with an infertile woman. So what's the fucking difference? If you're gonna say that being gay is wrong because of that, but being infertile is not wrong regardless of that, you have a contradiction.
Have you slept with a man?
No.
Why?
Why? Because I'm straight.
How do you know you're straight? Are you
Because I'm only
homophobic?
attracted to women.
Are you homophobic?
No.
Would you be able to come home with a man and present him to your parents?
I know, because I'm straight.
Why?
Because
Why?
I'm straight. I
Do your
wouldn't come home
parents
with a man.
do your parents think it's wrong?
Oh no, I think he's asking like,
no.
would your parents think it's wrong, like if you went home with a man?
No.
Yeah, and how is that even relevant?
What?
Yeah, what's the
Here,
relevance?
Dean, let me ask you a question. Like I asked Parker earlier, and he kicked me off because he couldn't.
Yeah,
answer.
well, come on, dude. I gave you.
Wait, I didn't kick you off.
One
You
moment.
got kicked
Yes,
for
you did.
community guidelines.
And
One second. Then
obviously-
also, dude, I gave you
didn't
a
violate any of them,
legitimate.
did I? I didn't violate.
I gave
any
you
of them.
okay.
You just got a guideline as soon as you said that. Dude, that is actually funny, dude. All right, we're gonna go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We are just looking for some debates. Keep tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. My girlfriend's on her way. Just letting you know.
Then I'm gonna be going live after this and continuing the debates for a while, you guys. Okay. Nice, very nice.
Nice, dude. That was great.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we can raid you, and then that can help your stream. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, that would.
Hey, 29.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or moral?
Yeah, I do.
Why so?
Why?
Because there's like an order that God has made things to be in, and I don't think that I think anything outside of marriage, which is between a man and a woman, is immoral.
Okay, so why can marriage only happen between a man and a woman? Is that going to relate to religion?
That's how it was designed to be,
Religion.
How do you know that to be the case?
because that's how like Jesus, like God, like literally like
Okay.
spoke it in the Bible.
Okay, so how do you? Where in the Bible does it say it's wrong to be gay?
Or where in
multiple
the Bible
different
does it
places.
say it?
Can you give me a verse?
Like where?
Oh, dude. All right, we're gonna go to like verse. Hold on.
Yep.
We'll give you time. Don't worry. We've got some great calming music here, right here for you to be able to find that source real quick.
Thank you.
If you want to support us, everyone, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. Keep tapping that screen. Let's try to 500,000 likes, y'all.
My Venmo and Cash App are in the bio. It's my first, second, and third account, but not in the fourth yet.
All right, you ready? Yo,
I'm ready. We're ready.
Leviticus 18:22.
Yeah, so can you read-
Leviticus
can you read-
20:13. All right,
Can,
yeah.
can I ask you a question? Can you read Leviticus
Pete,
25,
thank you.
44 through 46 for me?
Oh, hold up. What'd you say?
Can you read Leviticus 25, 44 through 46 for me?
Hold on. Can you hear me typing?
Yep.
25, 44 through what?
46.
46.
46. All right, how is this relevant?
Just read it.
Read it.
Just read it out loud. Read it out
Your
loud.
male
Read
and
it out
female
loud.
slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents around you. So we're reverting
think that's okay?
to...
Hold up, he hasn't finished. Let him finish.
Oh.
So, if we're gonna go that route, then
Are
why?
you gonna finish?
So, why did
Finish.
God?
Just finish the verse. Finish the verse.
You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly.
So, do you think it's okay to own slaves?
No, not in the way
bequeath
that
them to your
you're trying
children
to
as
paint
inherited property.
Not in the way that you're painting it out to be.
You mean the way the
Do you
Bible's
think it's
painting it
wrong
out to be?
hold the same job your like entire life? So you're saying that the Bible's saying
You
that
said you hold to Leviticus. This is also in Leviticus.
So my question would be, why did God send Moses to Egypt
I don't know.
to free the slaves from Egypt?
Okay,
Well, they were literally being
what
like
slaves? Wait,
captured.
who were the slaves?
I believe it was I guess Israelites.
Exactly, right? So this is talking about people who are not Israelites from the nations around them.
They're talking about the Egyptians and the Canaanites.
So you're just
specifically.
dodging. We're moving from talking about like homosexuality to
Wait,
now
no. So you brought up Leviticus. We said this is
Bible
also
back
in the
plus
context of
this.
This is also in the context of Leviticus. So if you accept Levitical law, well, then you would accept this. So do you
Right.
accept that it's okay to engage in enslaving people?
Yeah,
And
because
also,
you
yeah,
don't
Moses
wanna-
didn't exist,
was-
I don't think.
you
slavery.
need to be like logically consistent, right?
According to the Bible, what it was from, this is talking about basically like caveman times, essentially. Like these people were literally like not even.
Oh, so if you're a caveman, you could own
slavery,
other people
according
without
to
their
the
consent
Bible,
forcefully
was
and treat them as property?
Slavery,
Caveman
according
times?
to the Bible, was literally like working a job. It was like willful.
Oh,
was
wait,
literally
I'm so sorry.
willful-
If it's willful, then
Or
why does it
was
denote them as being
keeping
property?
prisoners from mustering a rebellion which would like overthrow the land that they were, or like people like prisoners like. So are we
Yeah.
saying that
There's a
prison
verse in the
is-
Bible that would show that to be the
there
case.
should not be like jails, or that there should not be jobs?
Yeah, Jake, give me the verse in the Bible that says it was willful or they were prisoners.
I don't have.
Because I feel like you just made that shit
it's
up.
laid out. I don't have it just
No,
laid out.
because you just made that shit
No,
up. You
this
know
is
what I mean?
from just what I've like researched, like watching many videos about. So I'm just
Sure,
speaking.
so where in
from
the Bible
mind.
does it say it was willful?
So
or
everything
that
I
they were
say, I have
prisoners?
to quote a Bible verse for. Is that how
Well, you're
this
basically trying to
conversation's
add
gonna go?
context to this Bible verse. What's the
We were
context?
not
and where
even
is it
talking. So this is completely off
in terms of the
topic. We're
Bible.
not even talking about.
Oh no! So we're basically just testing your logical consistency in pertaining to Levitican law. If you're going to hold to like a part of it in which you're misconstruing to be condemning homosexuality in Leviticus 18, but then you don't hold to Leviticus 25 where it says you can own like slaves as property, you'd just be logically contradictory. Yeah. cherry picking.
No, slavery was not like what you were trying to like paint it out to be. So
That wasn't what we were trying to paint it out to be. We asked you to read a Bible verse.
Yeah, so you're the one who said you hold to the Old Testament still, right? We can even relate to Exodus
I
21,
don't
20
hold
through.
to the civil and the ceremonial laws that were laid out in the Old Testament. The moral law is what is still standing.
This is moral law. And in Exodus, I'll give you moral law in Exodus 21 through 20.
No, this was civil. I'm almost
Exodus 21, 20 through 21 says that it's permissible to beat your slaves so long as they recover after a day or two. That is moral law.
Literally right before it, there's also what is it? The verse.
Is that more? Do you accept that as moral law?
No, because you're taking it out of context. Where
That
you're
isn't
trying
out
to
of
say
context.
that it's saying that it's good for you to beat somebody that is working for you, which is
No. It's permissible.
So,
It's permissible to beat someone who is your property. That's what it says. I'll read it specifically. You want me to read it specifically? I'll read it.
hold on, I want you to read this other Bible verse actually, so that we can.
No. I want you to.
Leviticus.
We're talking about Exodus, okay? In Exodus 21, 20 through 21, it says, anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result. But they are to not be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property.
So now read Leviticus 24, 19
That's
through
not
21.
Exodus. That's not Exodus. That's not providing context in Exodus.
Well, if we're talking about Old Testament law,
We're talking about Exodus, so please relate to Exodus.
so it has to be in Exodus for it to be valid.
If you're talking about adding
That doesn't make any
context
sense,
to,
dude. This is still Old
if you're
Testament. Look,
if you're talking about adding context to the verse in Exodus, then yes, it would
I
have to be
think
in
there is
Exodus.
another one in that says the exact.
Did you hear what I just said, Jake? Did you hear what I just said?
Quote a verse from Leviticus.
Okay, dude.
What do you say? What did you say?
Holy fuck, dude. All right, I said if it is going to relate to context that is describing something different about Exodus, well, then it has to be within the context of Exodus.
Okay, Exodus 21, 23 through 25.
What did you say?
Exodus 21, 23 through 25.
23 through 25, I got you. 23 through 25. All right.
Basically just says the same thing as Leviticus.
But if there is
24,
serious
29
injury, you are to
says.
take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. Let me read the prior text. I think it's talking about the Israelites. Yeah, that's talking about the Israelites.
Right. So they held the Israelites to a moral standard
No, I
in
don't
which they
think
did
that's
not hold the
talking
slaves
about
to.
That's talking
Wait,
about.
hold up. I must be. No, actually, I think I'm. Hold up. If people are fighting,
So-
and wait, no. This is a different context. Never mind. It's not Israelites. I was thinking Leviticus. My bad. So it says if people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there's no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatsoever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. But if there's serious injury, so this is talking about something completely different.
Right.
No,
Not
this
to
is
mention.
So you
Not
were
to
trying to
mention
make
that
it seem like
Exodus
it was
20
trying to relate to the prior text, which it was not. Sorry.
Right.
It's
Also, not to
talking
mention
about,
that
like,
Exodus.
this is anyone
Not to mention that Exodus
in-
21. One moment. Not to mention that Exodus 21:27 like specifically denotes that like if one were to knock a tooth out of a male or a female slave, he shall let the slave go free in compensation. So this would like basically like obviously imply that the slaves were not free. So I'm just now like bringing this up to refute your claim that you made earlier about them willfully working. Because why would they be let go free if they were willfully working?
I don't think that means that like they couldn't have. I mean, maybe it's because I also was saying that some of them were like prisoners from like prisoners of war.
Yeah, so name one verse in the Bible that shows us that the slaves in ancient Israel were prisoners of war.
I can't.
Or that you could only enslave prisoners. Yeah, so that's just an unjustified claim. There's actually a lot of issues with it. The slavery is a big issue, as like denoted within Leviticus 25. Another big issue is the fact that Levitican law and the moral laws as laid out between Leviticus 18:4 through Leviticus 18:24 were only for the ancient Israelites, and that's denoted in Leviticus 18:1 through 3. And then we would also just see contradictions from drawing from the Old Testament as laid out in Hebrews in the New Testament. there's a shit ton of issues.
Yeah, I mean, the main issue is that what I'm like, it's like working a job. It's literally how it was not actually like.
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of talking out of your ass, by the way.
Should no one ever have a job? And this is completely irrelevant. We're not even talking about why being gay is wrong anymore. I don't know why you just went straight from.
Yeah, so we'll move off of the Bible. We can move off of the Bible context. You clearly are going to have to hold to different types of slavery being okay and beating your slaves being fine if you're going to hold to the Old Testament.
That's not what I'm saying.
But that is what you have to hold to. But if you want to relate to why the Bible is justified in the first place, you'd have to give me a justification as to why is the case that your God exists to be able to proclaim that being gay is wrong by virtue of your particular God existing.
Because Jesus Christ, the existence of Jesus Christ.
I believe Jesus existed. I believe Jesus was crucified on the cross, but I do not believe resurrection occurred, as it is the case that it would be most probable that he would have been placed in a mass burial site or been left on the cross to decompose, as that was most likely to occur given Roman crucifixions at the time.
Well, if anything, that proves even more because his body literally was raised into heaven.
Yeah, how do we know that to be the case? How do we know that Jesus Christ was resurrected?
There's literally 4 accounts of, I mean, the existence of the church still being here. Why would there even be a church if Jesus Christ didn't actually raise from the dead? They would have been like, this is BS.
No, that was just claimed. So there's just claims.
Right, not to mention
because people believe by faith this happened. You believe by faith this happened. You don't have evidence.
Right.
I mean,
also,
the Bible
in the same way that people believe by faith to find Muhammad
eyewitness accounts.
Just in the same way that people believe by faith and the fact that Muhammad is a prophet under Islam. I mean, one could basically just say, well, if he wasn't a prophet, people wouldn't have followed him and the whole religion of Islam wouldn't be around. That's effectively what you're denoting at.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 eyewitness accounts, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
It's apparently much more than 4 is laid out by Paul in Corinthians. There's over 512 apparent ones.
Yeah. So
how do you feel about the fact that there's 700 to 800 eyewitness accounts of Prophet Muhammad and his miracles and testimonies? If you're basing the justification for your religion off of the given eyewitness accounts or apparent eyewitness accounts, you'd find Islam to be nearly a quarter more justified than Christianity.
Jesus literally said that he was the only way to the Father, to heaven.
How do you know that claim's accurate?
So that debunks it right there. Like Jesus Christ saying, I am the way.
If it were to be accurate, how do you know it's accurate?
Because there's 4 eyewitness accounts. The Bible, the 4 eyewitness accounts, more than, what'd you say, 512? The existence of the church, people, I mean, my own personal experience praying to God.
So eyewitness accounts, existence of the church and people praying. Eyewitness accounts, existence of the church and people praying to said church exists under Islam. Is Islam real? Is Islam justified?
I already debunked that with Jesus saying that he is the only way to heaven.
No, that doesn't make sense because there's eyewitness accounts, there's a church and people pray.
That doesn't.
So just out of curiosity. Out of curiosity, if I got 4 people to say that I'm God and I said I'm the only way to heaven, would I be God?
No.
Well, because there are many more people that believe I'm God in chat. Purdy, thank you so much for the subscriptions. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the 3 subscriptions.
Were you prophesied about and then...
Where was Jesus prophesied about? Oh, yeah.
In the Bible.
Where in the Bible?
I really don't want to keep just having to look. I mean, I don't have every part of the Bible memorized.
You just unironically have no clue.
Okay, I'll go and Google. If we're really going to do this, because this is, I think, pointless, because I'm just sitting here. I don't think this is going to do anything. You're just going to continue denying the massive amount of evidence that's right in front of your face.
Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What massive amount of evidence? Literally nowhere.
The Bible.
The Bible's not massive amounts of evidence. Sean, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. The Bible's conjecture. The Bible's opinion. The Bible are claims.
Okay, so can you please
We need to justify
prove to
those
me-
claims to me.
So how can
He still hasn't provided the proof that
What evidence
that
do
Jesus
you have-
was prophesied.
here? Okay, I'll do that. In Genesis, literally after they were tempted into eating from the tree, God said that he would send someone.
Avery, thank you. He's trying,
I don't even
Chad.
know why I'm up here because you guys are just actively denying the evidence that there is. So it's.
Yeah, because you don't have any.
I do.
Abby, listen to you right now. Then give
go
it.
ahead,
Which verse
give
in the
it.
Bible prophesies Jesus?
The Bible. Okay. 55 Old Testament prophecies about Jesus.
Name one.
Name one.
All right, let's bust it out.
So you have to look it up. That's our point as well. But again,
Yeah, I mean,
would you have anything outside of the context of the Bible that you could mention that justifies claims about resurrection?
What was it? I mean, Caesar wrote something about him.
What?
Jake, is this serious? Is this like a real debate right now?
Like Caesar?
Julius Caesar? Where did Julius Caesar write about Jesus? And how would this prove that Jesus was a divine being? What are you saying?
Let's see.
Wasn't he like literally dead before Jesus existed? Yeah, he literally was. How the?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, Julius Caesar was dead years before Jesus was born.
Yeah. Yeah, 44 BC.
Yeah. So, do you just want to like apologize for the misinformation? This is embarrassing. That's a big yikes, Jake.
Was it not Julius Caesar? I mean, I'm pretty sure that it was.
Julius Caesar died before Jesus was born.
Am I even saying the right person's name? I don't know.
See, that's also
the
There's
issue.
not evidence from
This is great evidence, bro. You're really convincing me.
Yeah, I was about to say convincing.
I can just
super
say the
convincing.
Bible and you can either accept it or deny it, and that's.
Yeah,
you know,
sure. So which verse
you
in the
said you're
Bible?
giving us so much clear, sufficient evidence, and that it's very convincing. But what we're saying is that it doesn't seem very convincing. That's what we're kind of saying.
Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Yeah, and it's like you keep saying the Bible is evidence for the existence of God. Okay, yeah. So like, how do you know that the text within the Bible is accurate?
Because I've prayed and I actively experience things happening in my life.
I appreciate you for the
there's
SU.
no way for me to.
Okay, is the Quran accurate?
Personal experience.
Michael, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Is
Michael.
Is the Quran accurate?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so then if a Muslim walked up to you tomorrow and told you that the Quran was accurate because they've prayed and they've had personal experiences within their life that they'd have no other way to describe, and this is the reason in which they gave you as to why the Quran's accurate, would you then therefore believe that the Quran's accurate? Would you switch your religions? Would you believe them?
No, because Jesus Christ said that he was the true way.
Okay, so basically,
That's really
when a
the
Muslim
only
says,
evidence. I mean,
David, thank you
one
so much for the
second.
$15 on Cash App. Thank you so much, David.
So when a Muslim says that the Quran's accurate because they pray and they've experienced things in their life, they're liars and heretics. But as soon as a Christian says that the Bible's accurate because they've prayed and they've experienced things in their lives, they're the morally just, truth speaking, accurate individuals. This seems like a contradiction. Sleep, I appreciate you for the duck.
I don't think that it's a concert. I mean, I'm just going to keep going back to what I believe. I mean, that Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you have no reason to believe in what you believe in, right? Because we continue to ask you for your reason as to why you believe in these things, and then you just say, well, you pray, right? Well, it seems as if prayer is not truth tracking. Nor
I have given you like many
towards any notion
reasons.
Yeah, like the reason, like Julius Caesar.
Okay, wait. I do have
But
one
you're
thing.
just sitting here just saying.
Hold on, I do have one thing. Jesse, thank you for the $10. I do appreciate it. He says that all Roman empires were called Caesar. I'm not quite sure if that's right, because maybe then it would be someone after.
I really don't know. I mean, I can't remember if it was even Julius Caesar or. But yeah, so I'm not going to revert to that. I'm not saying my evidence outside of the Bible would be my own like prayer and the like feelings that I get, that which is not going to be accurate. I'm not going to be able to sit here and like, I think, prove to you guys that this is real. I mean, the Bible, the existence of the church.
But okay, Matt is saying that there's no emperor that claims anything about Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna lean on that because it's
just the tingles. The tingles just prove God.
Well, I mean, it's healed my anxiety and depression. I actively, like today, I literally was having the worst possible day in like a while, and I literally was like, God, I'm going to give it to you. I gave it to God by literally saying like, I'm giving God control, and it completely turned my day around. I haven't experienced this much peace in like, I don't know how long.
Right, it's because of confirmation bias, right? So you basically, just accepted this notion that the Christian God exists and is real, right? And this is what we call a placebo effect, right? So you accept the notion, and then you full-heartedly believe that this notion of the existence of the Christian God is going to change your life. And then it seems as if we do view a change in your life. Well, I mean, if this would show the God to actually be existing, then you might as well say the sugar pills in which they use in drug testing facilities, the placebo pills, would be just as effective as the actual ones, because we would view the same effect from a placebo pill, right? So just the correlation being that just because you experience some effect on yourself and then you correlate it to a belief in which you severely hold to be true, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the cause likely to be a placebo effect, because you don't have any supporting evidence for the existence of your God.
I mean, I literally have been trying to get rid of my anxiety and depression my entire life until I surrendered to God. So I think that would be pretty decent evidence. And I've tried all sorts of different methods. I've tried all sorts of different spiritualities. And this was the only thing that's worked. And I think it's the most reliable, because I do think if any religion is to be correct, I really do think it's Christianity, because it has the most evidence for it being true. I mean, you even yourselves said that you believe that Jesus Christ did actually walk this earth. And then I don't think that God lets it be so blaringly obvious, because he gives us the choice to be able to believe or not. If we either are actively denying the truth, or we're
real quick, I just want to point this out. So if you go on the NIH and you look up TOI 10.1007//10943-021-01-484-3, it's an academic study with several authors here, 7 authors and something like 38 peer reviews, that denotes when individuals have a belief in God, it heals their anxiety and psychological disorders. But this isn't just, apparent to one God or one monotheistic religion. Just literally belief in a higher power can reduce anxiety and other psychological disorders. So it's like when you try to use this as proof of a God, but then there's studies that show this is the case across all religions, regardless of what religion it is. It seems as if you have a very poor basis for your belief.
I mean, it's not just feelings, and it's not just I see evidence, synchronicities that happen so often that it's it would be insane for me.
Persephone, thank you for that. Like what?
Well, the first biggest one was that I was cussing at God one time. This is like before I really became a Christian. Cussing at God, I was like, if you're real, why is my life a living hell? And then I was like, I went on a walk. I was like looking for signs, and I saw like a bird land on a branch. Somebody had given me a Bible the week before. I went home from the walk after I saw the bird and I was like, oh, that's cool. Whatever. Like God's existence in nature is beautiful, whatever. I go home, and so I was cussing at God, and I saw this bird as a message, and I opened the Bible, and the very first verse, I didn't flip the page, I didn't look at any other verse. Very first verse said, do not curse the king, even in your thoughts, for a bird of the sky may carry the message. And then after that, it was just like tons and tons of more synchronicities happening. Like I would be listening to a song, I would be out and it would be like saying like exactly what I was like thinking about, or I would like ask a question or something, and like someone from started going to church, someone from the church would come in and like literally answer my exact question that I was like just asking. And it's still to this day, I still continue to see like synchronicities like over and over. But I mean, that's my testimony. That's why I started to believe. And then since then, it's been the greatest thing to like happen to me in my life. It's healed me entirely. I think it's more than just a placebo effect, because I've tried all sorts of different placebo effect type things in my life that I would say have not worked. So
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah, man. You know what? Yeah.
But-
I mean, I'm not here to like denote your. Listen, man. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm not here to shit on your faith in God. I'm really not. What I'm here to shit on is using your faith in God, to convey prejudice against individuals. I really don't have a problem with religion. In fact, I think religion is quite good for some individuals. But as soon as we use that belief to perpetuate hate or prejudice, this is when it gets bad. I don't know where Parker went, but he typically likes to take the angle of condemning the religion as a whole, while I like to take the text of condemning I like to take the pathway of condemning the specific texts, because I know how to internally critique that worldview. So I'm just going to stay on track with that, so I'm not over here just telling you your God isn't real, even though I don't personally think they are, right? So it's like when you specifically reference Leviticus for saying that being gay is wrong, Leviticus 18:13, well, it's very important to denote the fact that in Leviticus 18:1-3, thank you for the superpower, God specifically states, thank you so much for the money gun, that all of Levitican law was only for the ancient Israelites. So by using 18:22 to condemn being gay, you are quite literally contradicting the own word of your God as laid out in the preface for Leviticus 18. So do you have any other verses in which would condemn being gay in the Bible?
Yeah, that's kind of how, well, before I do, I would say that's kind of how all of Christianity doesn't really apply to someone who doesn't believe in it, right? Because it applies, but if they don't believe in it, then they're not going to follow it. So that's...
Oh, I don't think you exactly understood what I was saying. I wasn't saying anything about my disbelief in God. I was internally critiquing your own worldview. So your own God states that Levitican law was only for the ancient Israelites, right? So there were believers outside of that. However, it was specifically for this one group of people, right? And this is like Jewish tradition that Levitican law only held to them. And there's no real account of them holding universally outside of that context, apart from, what the Bible says that it was specific towards one group. So when you try to take the texts of Leviticus and say use them to convey or to condemn being gay in like today, well, you're contradicting your own God because we are not ancient Israelites, right? So if we were alive 3,000 years ago and we were ancient Israelites, you'd have a real good argument as to why it's wrong. But unfortunately, it's not like that today. And then I'm pretty sure Parker's gonna have to head off. And I'm gonna go start a stream here. I'm gonna go start a stream here. Jake, I appreciate the conversation, man. I'm gonna go start my stream. I'm gonna be live for a little bit longer, everybody. I appreciate you for the debate, Jake. And Parker, I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good night, man.
All right, see you in a second here, bro.
Have a good one.
All right, peace out, peace out. All right, everyone, we're going to send everyone over to Dean's Live. Everyone go to Dean's Live. We're going to wait for him to go on live right now, and then we're going to go raid him real quick. I appreciate everyone who came on today. Tomorrow we're going to be doing this topic like when I get on, probably like 1 or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when I should be live. I appreciate everyone who did come on so far. Everyone come out so far. I love y'all so much. Keep tapping that, or I mean not tap that. Tap that screen when you keep tapping that screen when you go over to Dean's Live, y'all. That's what I was trying to say. So we're gonna send everyone there right now. Again, he's gonna be on Dean Get a Grip. So look it up right now. Dean Get a Grip. Spam Parker Raid. Spam love from Parker. Dean Get a Grip. Spam Parker Raid. Spam love from Parker. I will tell my girlfriend y'all said hello. Sometime y'all will meet her. Don't worry. Sometime, maybe. I gotta keep her safe. But yeah, let me see if Dean is live. Let's see if Dean's live. If you want to go support him right now, look up Dean Get a Job. Dean Get a Grip, not Dean Get a Job. Honestly, he just needs to have that. Dean Get a Grip. He's live right now. Go there. Spam Parker Raid. Spam love from Parker. Dean Get a Grip. Spam Parker Raid. Spam love from Parker. Love y'all so much. Peace out, y'all. Love everyone. Have a good night, y'all.